Very wonderful day to every one of us. We thank the Lord for another wonderful day. Every day is a gift from the Lord, and every day must be day of growth. Every day must be day of nourishment. Every day must be day of improving ourselves, to improving the potentials that God has put inside us, so that we can become what He wants us to be. Growing your church today, that's the topic. That has ascended on high. That's Psalm 68 verse number 18. That's led captivity captive. That's received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord God Himself dwell among them. Now that's telling us that Jesus, when He was buried, when He went to the grave, He left captivity captive. Those who were there before, those who were in bondage of the enemy, those who died before they are saints, He released them. He set them free. That's why you discover that when Jesus died, it is finished on the cross. There are a lot of people that rose up from the dead, because that word really shook kingdom of heaven and earth, even under the earth, and released those who were in bondage and set them free, and collect gifts for men, and brought the church and His Holy Spirit into our lives, so that we can live a godly life, we can grow in Him, we can develop in Him. And once you are a Christian, once you are a believer, once you are a leader, once you are a minister, Jesus has deposited through His Holy Spirit these gifts into our life, so that we can be a blessing to our generation. We have the mandate to carry out the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. We have the mandate to reach the world for Jesus. We have the mandate to expand the frontiers of the kingdom of Jesus into every heart, into every life. That is our mandate as ministers. Our mandate is not just to gather the perishable things of this world, not to just acquire, achieve, attain, and become big and have properties here and there. That is not our mandate. Those ones are addition. Yeah, those are children's bread. But the real mandate is that we grow the kingdom of our Lord Jesus. We reach many hearts for Him. That Jesus will be ruling in hearts and lives. That is our kingdom mandate. So when He gives you the grace to plant a church, when He gives you the grace, He gives you a gift for ministry, either teaching ministry, either drama ministry, either sewing ministry, either youth ministry, either children ministry, any ministry that God gives to you, either supporting ministry, either counseling ministry, any gifts and graces that God gives to you is to expand His kingdom, the kingdom of our Lord Jesus, into hearts and territories of the world. That is our mandate, and you can only do that when you start growing. You can only fulfill that when you start growing. Because when you get born again, you are a baby in Christ. You have not known much. That's why 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 1, it said, as babies, as babes, we should desire the sincere milk of the word, that we can grow thereby. God wants us to grow. He wants our churches to grow. When our churches are not growing, God is not happy. No matter how we have grown in the past, especially denominational churches, He wants our church to grow and to be kingdom growth. He wants people to increase, to expand, and to know Christ, and to multiply as disciples of Christ in the church. Today we must grow. Our churches must grow. In every locality we must grow. We must pursue growth as ministers, as pastors. There's no too much difficult field that our church cannot grow. There's no area that will say, oh, this is the graveyard of churches. Okay, church growth people, they recognize that there are some areas that are called the graveyard of churches, meaning that there are churches that have come there and they've died. They didn't grow because what? Of the forces of darkness, of the power of darkness, of the power of evil. And you know, when pastors go to an area, they plant a church and they don't know how to do warfare, how to bind the strong man of darkness that have been ruling in that place before. And you know, many areas, especially in Africa, this strong man is represented by the chief, by the Baale, by the king, by the occultic people, and by the necromancers, and by the powers of darkness in some individuals there, like Sangoma powers, like occultic powers. Yes, if you don't pray and do warfare, sometimes we have to walk along the street, sometimes we need to go to a particular spot as the Lord reveals to us. We need to break down the power of darkness, because our Lord Jesus says, you can't go to the house of a strong man except you bind him first. And when the strong man keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. So that for our church to grow in many areas, we need to defeat that strong man that is keeping everybody under. You know why the strong man is there? Is because when those places were founded, the first inhabitants that got there, most of them made part with forces of darkness for protection, for preservation, for keeping, for provision, for their village, for their town, for their city. And if we don't go and break that covenant so that the light of Christ can shine, then the church will not grow. Those are some of the strategies that we need to employ to bring growth to the church. But the truth, the first and last of it, that every local church must grow. I'm praying that every denominational leaders will recognize that, and we will allow local churches to grow. We allow local churches to function from today. It's not that I am going to grow. No, it is I am growing now. Why am I growing? Where's our churches growing? It's not enough to plant churches. It's not enough to go on missions and to do church planting. It's not enough to do crusade and win many souls. We must bring them into responsible church membership that they are growing. It's not enough to get people converted. Yes, they must grow in the Lord, grow and be discipled to the level that they too will be able to grow others and preach to others, so that our disciples become disciples to others. They too disciple others. That will growth, and we can start it today. I'm very sad to realize and to know that there are so many churches that are dying today. There are a lot of dying churches. There are a lot of churches that I usually refer to them as sick, stagnant, struggling, and dying churches. It shouldn't be. And small churches. There are a lot of small churches. There are sick churches. There are stagnant churches. There are struggling churches. And according to research, 85% of churches are in that category. It shouldn't be. God wants our churches to grow. But until we pursue growth, that is the will of Christ. Until we obey the laws of growth, until we start growing every day, that will not happen. Both as leaders, as pastors, as Christians, as believers. Until we begin to grow in the Lord, in the things of the Spirit, get more graces, anointing, and mercies, and live the Christian life, we can see it. So we can achieve what God wants us to achieve. Every local church must grow, and it must start today. It's not that we are postponing it. Oh, well, we will grow sometime. Oh, well, when God wants us to grow. God wants us to grow. Jesus died so our churches can grow. In every locality. It saddens Jesus when churches close down. But if our church is going to grow, we must start today. And must start from identifying those things that are killing our growth, that are destroying our growth. We must identify them and remove them courageously. Because when you read Revelation chapter 2, chapter 3, Jesus sent messages to 7 churches. And if you read them carefully, he has an axe to grind. He has things that are not good in 5 of those churches. And he counseled them that you should repair, you change from them, so that church will come alive. You know, the church in Sardis, you see that church has a name that is alive but is dead. And there are so many churches like that today. They have fanciful name, wonderful program, wonderful services, but spiritually speaking, they are dead to Jesus and dead to things of eternal life. The Bible says we should strengthen those things that remain. So such churches, we need to bring turn around to them. We should not lose hope on them. I know a lot of preachers will criticize churches, will say churches are dying and all that, they are ungodly, they are righteous. Yes, but Jesus will purge the church. Jesus will wash the church. Jesus will revive the church. Jesus will restore the church because he died, he shed his blood so that every local church can come alive and be heavenly minded. Did you hear what the Bible says? It said when the trumpet will sound, he will present to himself a glorious church. So every local church must strive to become a glorious church. And you can't be a glorious church if you are not a growing church. So it must start today. We must work for growth today. And as we work for growth, we plan for growth, we pursue growth, we prepare for growth, we pay for growth. Yes, we take steps that will help our church to grow. And as we do that, starting from our individual life, as pastors and leaders, we must experience our personal growth. Then every Christian must grow personally. Every worker, every associate must grow in the things of the Lord according to the will of God. Then cumulatively, it will result in the growth of every local church. That is the mind of Christ. If you are killing local churches, be careful. Christ will have to deal with you because he loved the church and he purchases with his own blood. The Lord will bless you as you pursue growth today. In Jesus' name. Hello out there. I am Francis Bola Akin-john, a church consultant of 25 years standing. You can invite me to your local churches, to your denomination, to your pastoral conferences for consultation, for consultancy, for seminars, teachings and training on healthy local churches so that our churches can grow across Africa. The Lord bless you. I await your invitation. Amen.